What is going on, guys? Before we hop into today's video here today, today's video is actually sponsored by Banner Snack. It's a really cool online making banner design sort of website. I know a lot of you guys who visit my channel and such like look for like a lot of templates and sometimes just look for like simplistic videos. That's why they do so well as well, just in people who want to actually create them in Photoshop, or the people who just want to like, yo, is there a template of this so I can just get this really quick? I know this if it doesn't like, I guess if it doesn't interest you, it doesn't interest you. For the people I know that it will do so, it's just like a really cool online platform without having to use Photoshop or anything like that. It's really cool. It has a lot of different templates and stuff to work with. If I were to scroll up here for a second, you have a lot of templates, like I said, right? So you have automotive, health, events. This is not all of it, but it's just like sort of in a category way. Travel, services, fashion, business, personal. If I click on fashion, you get a lot of high contrast, a lot of ways to like demonstrate, you know, sales, and like all the text and everything pops away. It should, has the right spacing, all that good stuff. And if I were to go ahead and just go ahead and click make banner for ourselves, you can see you can make a whole entire banner set where they have to do it with like one of those like, you know, advertisement you see in like the left corners, or you do it, you know, Facebook, a YouTube banner. You can do that in a set. However you want to make a single banner, very simply make a single banner. You can go to, let's just say, like all these different dimensions, by the way. So if anyone's also wondering what the dimensions are, they're right here as well. If I can click on it's not Photoshop color, Facebook cover. There we go. I can go ahead and just like scroll through. You get this really cool, look at these nice gradients and such. You can just click on them. You can hide layers. You can mess around with them. Color-wise, animation. You can actually animate them as well. It's really cool. So if you guys want to go ahead and check this out, it's Banner Snack. You can check the description down below for the link and all that cool stuff. So if it interests you, please go ahead and explore. If it doesn't, then let's just get on today's video. Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Sizzle here. There's a video here today bringing us a Photoshop tutorial, really cool. We're gonna go with like another Fortnite banner. I don't even know what I'm gonna call it, probably like a darker scheme Fortnite banner, but you guys enjoyed the other Fortnite design that I did, and I honestly did another one on stream, and a lot of you guys wanted to see a tutorial on it. So this is the one that I got on stream, or I did on stream, excuse me, like an hour and a half or so. And yeah, we did it for Nick A, and he just hit like, you know, 900 likes and stuff like that. He saw it, all that cool stuff, so it did well, right? And everyone wanted to see like a tutorial on it, so of course your boy is gonna throw in a good old tutorial to it. Okay, so mind you guys, I know a lot of you guys might be wondering where I get some of my stocks at, just because of the thing. It's from fnbr.co. A lot of you guys know about it. If you guys do not know about it, it's basically like a really cool site in which you can go into, if you were to go to this site, period. If you go on the left here, it says PNGs, or excuse me, icons, and this has like basically every icon is gonna give it to you in a fair like a fair size, which is basically like, as you can see, like this right here is a rasterized image. This is the exact size it came into, right? So it's a pretty big size. It's like almost, I'm in currently a 3000 by 1000 pixeled dimension for Twitter header, right? So if I were to go back over here for a second, right, all you have to do is literally scroll down. You can see all the emotes, a lot of things, the gliders, the whatever. Like this is not like a sponsor, this part's not the sponsored part. This is just straight up just like how you get some really dope PNGs, right? And if you want to save one, the one I took was I think it was up here somewhere, right? Yeah, it was somewhere here. Basically, all you gotta do, like I did this one for the Nick A one. So I right-clicked, save image as very, very simple, and you're gonna have it be saved, and you're just good to go, and just like all that good stuff, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just, you know, I already put some pictures in here. I chose 2 different pictures. However, the same kind of composition still stands, I would say. So basically, I just got 2 pictures here. Reason why I have a really cool colored picture in the front, whether it can be my color scheme for the entire banner design. So that's why I kind of went with orange. And then a nice darker color with some more like neutral tones rather than like a black or a nice, you know, this happens to be like a dark blue kind of vibe going on here. But it's a nice contrast, right? So I did the same thing for this one right here. We have like a nice little like chromish, not chromish, but like a metalish texture over something that's like yellow and like very bright, so that contrast helps with the characters as well. And then of course a good old background. I have the same exact background I'm gonna go for in this video here. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go and get this thing going. So of course, don't forget to leave a like on the video. 200 likes on the video equals a sticker down below, which is going to be most likely the PSD of this video. And if you guys haven't already, please follow me on Twitch, because your boy got affiliate, so let's get it. And yeah, let's go and get this thing going, and I'll see you in the video. Alright, homies, let's go and get this thing going. And now, really quickly though, I would love to know if you guys can figure out what sport I tried today and happen to get this little burn cut. I'm so curious if it's a common thing or if I'm just an idiot, right? So, alright. Very, very simple. This kind of process is almost like a 4-step process. The text effect that I did as well was just very, very blank. Not blank, excuse me. It has like a really nice touch to it, but it's very simple. You know, it's very simplistic kind of text effect that you got going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly start off with like a very quick background. What I ended up doing, which is very simply, we didn't click on the background, but we just go to gradient map right here. right here, right? Cool. So I'm gonna click on this, and the nice sort of color that I had going on for this was a very dope sort of like black to a gray. So for the shadows, it's pure black, but however for the highlights, it's not another black. It's just like a nice sort of lighter tone gray, rather than just doing like a black background, you know what I mean, or a darker background, or like a really high contrast, brightness and contrast background. So for my left here, for the shadows, excuse me, we have a very simple, it's just all zero, it's all the way black, right? For the right hand side, however, we have a nice gray with the hex code 353943. So if you were to type that in this little box here, you get the same exact color that I'm using currently. And I'll press OK. I'm going to press cancel though, because oh wait, no, I was supposed to press OK. There we go. Right, so that's going to set up a really simple, nice darker background. So yeah, at first I'm just going to write in, let's just write in the word Fortnite. The font that I did use on the Nick A banner. Let me go ahead and quickly throw in some rulers. So Control R on my keyboard brings up these rulers right here. Drag them nice, just very simply, just let them snap themselves into the middle where you think it is, just like so. As you saw, it kind of just snapped. Okay, now the font that I did use, it was called Neuro, or no, not Neuro. It was called Arrow. There we go. Okay, so. And I used a white, right? So it was white. Okay, so it's gonna use a nice little offset white. So something not pure white, but just like kind of right there. You know what I mean? It's like very like right there. You don't want it to be too bright. This is a fairly good, nice offset white if you guys want the same exact hex tone. Hex code, it's F0, F0, F0. Right, you can see the difference. Like look right here. You see how this is, it's actually not that big of a difference. You can even probably go a little bit lower. I'm not sure why it's not changing the color though when I moved it. There we go. Right, you see how that's very, very white? However, if you throw it just a little bit further down, it kind of blends in just a little bit more better, and kind of works for us, right? So for this very simple little text effect that I did, this is going to allow me to put a nice, very simple highlight to it, and you can use a color if you guys want to as well. I have done this text effect with a color as well, so what I'm going to do is basically with this orange here, right, as I did that. We're just going to simply just take a duplicate, so I'm going to hold Alt, click on this layer, and drag it below it. That'll make a very quick duplicate for us. As you can see, there's two different layers now that says the word Fortnite. We're just going to change this into that's Fortnite copy. That's fine. So I'm going to go over here, go to this little character table. If you guys don't have this, by the way, available for you guys, just simply go to Windows characters, right? Click on your colors. I'm just going to drag this down a little bit more now. So a little more gray. Right, I'm going to drag this, and just simply with my movement tool here via my keyboard, drag this down right till about you get to the edge of where, like, empty spaces start happening. So I'm going to throw it right here, move it over to left a little bit with my arrow keys, and then just quickly look to see if there's any spots that I need to fix. I mean, realistically, if you're doing this really quickly, like whatever kind of thing. However, if there's something you need to fix, you should definitely fix. Like this R right here, you see everything is connected, and like there's no little spaces like this R. Just simply make a new layer, take your pen tool, right? You want to go to the end, click on it. You want to kind of, I guess you can guess the angle. If you want to start all the way up here, you guys can as well. I didn't mean to do that. Let's delete that. So if you want to start all the way up here, you can for sure. And then just to follow the angle a little bit better. And then you can just simply drag this down here, connect it. And once you've connected it, you can go ahead and right click, fill path, drop down color. When you select the color, select the same color that you chose for your gray as your little back white. Press OK again, and delete the path. Very simply, right? So that's all you really have to do for that. And all you would have to do now is just simply merge these two layers together with either grouping them together with Control G and or making a duplicate and then with Control J and then Control E to merge it all together. That was probably a lot, but all I really did was just group it together and make myself a little spare copy just in case I mess up. So you can just call this, text backup, just in case you're like, I spelt it wrong or something like that, because your boy spells a lot of things wrong. And yeah, that's that. So we're going to call this what it is. We're going to call this the Fortnite backing. Right, so you have the text and then you have the backing. Very simple, right? So if you wanted to change the color, let's just say you wanted to have like a red or a green or whatever, I would like just simply do like that, right? And then for the backing, you just want to go ahead and select the color, right? And then you just want to move it down a little bit. So if you want to do a green, just get a nice little, I guess, nice little shadow to it. This is basically like a better alternative drop shadow, in my opinion, rather than just kind of like trying to fixate some weird shadowing technique. I don't know, you know what I mean? We're just gonna leave it. I mean, it doesn't have any color and it looks kind of awkward. And mine's a little bit more grayer tone, but that's okay. We're just gonna go ahead and just say, like, let's just make night, right? We're gonna take night and just make this yellow, okay? So I'm gonna make that yellow. Let's try to go a little bit more like a naturalish, not super vibrant yellow. So for this Fortnite backing part here, I'm just gonna take it and split this in half. And this is me just kind of like going off the board a little bit, but just trying to make it a little more entertaining. So you're just gonna simply, once you connect the paths, like kind of cutting it, you want to go ahead and just right click, or with M on your keyboard, right click, first the P on the keyboard, right, to make a selection, right? So when you press M on your keyboard, it'll give you the option when you right click then to layer via cut, which is what we're gonna do. So you have currently, this is gonna be Fort, and this part right here is going to be night, as you can see, right? So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to select this within layer style, put it on color overlay, take this yellow, and simply just drag it down here. So now we're going to have a two-tone kind of text to kind of give ourselves a little more color to work with, right? So once you have this part, this is like, you know, the other part where you want to put, like, if you want to put any subtext, like, you know, the best title you can probably put for this would be like something like that, maybe. All right. So I'm going to put this Gotham Black. We're going to make this like a nice offset white. Let's take that same gray we kind of going on here. Take this down. And put this subtext somewhere right here. If you want to play with the colors as well, let's just emphasize the best word in this entire sentence and make it yellow, okay? So, very simple, right? So now you kind of have a nice little color scheme, a little bit of contrast going there. You have contrast falling with your actual characters that you got going on the right-hand side. And now it's very simple, kind of like a, I guess this is step 2 or 3. Is this like a darker part? You see how the right-hand side is just a little bit more darker, gives our entire banner like a really nice kind of flow to it. All I did for that was I ended up duplicating this actual gradient map here. Just by Control J, right? And what I ended up doing was the reason why I set up my characters for the legs to always at the bottom and the head to always at the top is so that I can split things very nice and naturally and like seamlessly, right? So I can just go right up to this guy's character of his head, drag this all the way down, we'll go right through his legs. Not gonna go through here, let's go around and kind of like behind his legs, right? Go on this left-hand side because we want the right-hand side to be darker. Right click. After you do so, make selection, press OK, and all you have to do now is when you click on the gradient map here, your color is going to be switched to white and black. So if you fill it in with white, which is Control Backspace, you'll see that it'll delete it. Excuse me, that's black, by the way, I think. Control Backspace is your background color. This is your foreground color, as you can see, right? Highlighting over it, and highlight the background color, that's the background color. So using those Control Backspace or Alt Backspace is going to give you the option to either cut it out with white or black. Because if I were to cut it out like this, if I were to press Alt Backspace again, you'll see it's not cutting anything out, right? So if I just press Control Backspace, that's white. That's going to work. Okay, so now all I got to do is like lower the opacity down. I believe I lowered it down to about 60 or so. And just to make it a little bit more darker on this side now, right? It looks kind of nice, kind of pretty, very simple. We're going to make another new layer. We're going to do the same thing basically. Come over here. Let's go through his legs this way. We're going to go on the right-hand side though this time. And this part, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a little bit of a pattern going on here. And also cut it out in some few spots to make it just look a little bit more cooler, right? And that's just a little bit of texture work, okay? So we're going to simply just right-click, fill any color. Does not matter. Just fill it in with any color. What's going to happen here is if you guys have my pattern pack, which I totally advise you guys to do, it's $3 from sellfi.com/SysOHQ. You can go ahead and just lower your fill all the way down to 0. And we're going to double-click on this. And we're going to simply go ahead and go to pattern overlay. And you can't probably see it that well because the background color is like the same color as my patterns. So it's just a little bit awkward. But just trust me for a second. If I were to use like something like this, maybe. Let's just use it for a second. So what's going to happen here is you can kind of see these little lines. These are the same color that was my background. That was just a mistake that I didn't previously. But all the new updates and such are going to be like a black. So you can actually see it over like a lighter tone. With that being said, all you have to do now is when you have this is since there's nothing else, there's a fill at 0, you're going to right click and rasterize a layer. So what you can do now is you can do whatever the heck you want. You can change the color to yellow, but we're going to go ahead and just change it to black because we want that to just be a nice pure black. You want to be able to see that pattern and make it look super freaking cool. By the way, little hint, if you guys want to, you can make a new layer, clipping mask it, use a nice soft brush, little secret for you guys, and you can take some parts and make it yellow after you rasterize this right here. Right, you can take some of these parts and make it yellow. That'd be pretty cool. Just saying. I don't want too much. I don't know. I'm just gonna say, if you guys made it to that part of the video, you got some really cool little trick right there, right? So yeah, this is where the social media would go. I would just kind of we're just gonna pretend that we're gonna put some social media here. You know, literally, this is just where it would kind of go, right? I'm not gonna, you know, you can see this setup. I literally put an icon, text over text kind of thing. Very nice, simple, nice text, which just happened to be Gotham Black. If you guys cared, right? So this is our social media. I'll just make it nice and small, like 5. And we'll just like fill that space just like that, right? Your social media would be right there. Or that can be your website. Let's just put on best website in the world, sysohq.com. Just like so, right? You put a website right there if you guys want to as well. So now that pretty much the whole entire thing is almost pretty much done, right? All we have is very simple like little stocks. So all I did was I made a new layer, just like so. Took my pen tool to make this little simple little kind of like spiky stuff. You simply just kind of just want to make your own spikes, as simple as this, right? So I'm going to take a nice bigger spike here. We'll make a nice skinnier spike right there, right? Just a nice skinnier one. We'll take one right here. It's kind of hard to like kind of I guess direct it in the right way, but it's trial and error. Once you keep doing it a couple times, you'll know what I mean. Let's put one right here. You know what I mean? Let's put one right there. Make this nice and short. Let's make another one nice close to it. Make it short as well. Let's take this, make it short here. Another one here. Now I kind of rounded that, but that's okay. and something like right there. Okay, we're gonna connect all of these. Make sure you guys connect them all. And once you've done this, you just can fill it in. Excuse me, not subpath. Let's fill all the paths in with a nice color. And what's going to happen is I'm going to make this white. So I can press Control U. Whatever color it was, I filled it in because I can just take a Control U, which brings up the hue and saturation table, and take my lightness and drop it all the way up to 100, just like so. And what I would do is I would personally use a nice little select mask here. So I can do is I can take my brush, right? So if I take my brush, and once you just click on the selecting mask, not this, click on the thumbnail of the selecting mask you just clicked on. What you can do now is you make it black and white, right? And once you've done this, take the black one. If you change it to black, you can actually erase the color a little bit. So if you were to take your opacity, lower this down to like 20 or 30 or so, 30%, you can go ahead and erase some of these, right? To give them different kind of weights to them. And once you've done that, you kind of have like a really cool look coming in, right? So if I just keep on doing this, we'll erase them quite a lot, right? We'll erase this one right here. So then that one next will kind of just looks more vibrant, and it just gives it a really dope like texture to it, right? You can't argue that doesn't look pretty cool. So once you've done that, you can then make a new layer above it, clipping mask that new layer. Don't forget to change your opacity back up if you guys want to keep it on like 100%, which I like to. You want to go ahead and just take your pen tool, take some of these little things here, and we're just going to make these a color, just like so, right? And we're going to just go ahead and just nicely create a path. We're going to change this to the color yellow we have for the text. And let's press OK, and there we go. We got a nice little yellow in there now too, right? So all in all, we're pretty much done, right? If you guys really want to, I did use some stocks in my brush pack, my brush stock pack, and if you guys, that's $5. You guys are gonna go ahead and check that out as well on Sellfy, right? The same sellfy.com, HQ. You can see in the description down below if you guys want to. So all I really did was I made a new layer, used some of my brushes, which happens to be, I think it was this brush or this brush. No, it was this one, I think, right? Something like this. It's definitely one of these. Like, I just kind of like, it could have been any of these brushes. Let's just go with, this one? No, not this one, not this one. Had to be this one, honestly. We're just going to click on it a couple times. Let's just see what happens, right? So we just kind of like put little sparkles in the background. I went with my eraser back in here and kind of erased some spots I don't really want too much. I don't really want all that kind of like flurries and whatnot. All I had to do was double click on this, change this to a nice outer glow, make this yellow, right? As you can see, make it a yellow, and just put your opacity just up quite a little bit, and you kind of have this really simple little glow in the background. It looks pretty cool. And pretty much to finalize this entire thing, which I think this is pretty damn good so far, pretty accurate to what we have going on, just a different color scheme and a little more concentration. We're going to take a nice little darker yellow tone by holding Alt with my soft brush. I can select any color on this entire canvas, and we're going to simply click. We'll click on the Fortnite here. We'll click like down here. Why not? We'll click up here. Why not? Put this blend mode to linear dodge add. Lower the opacity down a little bit. And I'll just say I don't want this here. So I'm going to take my eraser. Erase that there. I like that there. This is okay there. We'll fix a little bit here and there kind of thing, right? So pretty much we're done. Lastly, okay, you're going to simply just hold shift, click on the first layer. So when you hold shift, you're going to click on the first layer, hold shift, click on the last layer. Control J is going to give you the option to duplicate everything. Control E will be the option to merge everything together. So what's going to happen here is you have in one layer everything you just did. So all you have to do now is go to filter gallery. I would like to go ahead and put this on paint dubs if you guys want to as well. Right, once you put on paint dubs, it's kind of like a little sharpen to it. I always like to do that. You can see with like look at my little things in the background. So it kind of looks kind of weird. Kind of sharpens everything. You see that? Pretty cool. But that's not what I want to do at all, right? I don't want to just do that. I'm going to go ahead and just on this layer here, I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to go ahead and use a convert to smart object. What's going to happen here is, I would even done that before I even did the paint dubs, by the way. But this is going to happen is if whatever effects we put on this layer now, it's going to give you the option to change them back. So if we would do a color correction, which we're going to do inside filter, camera filter raw, or camera raw filter, as you can see, let's just quickly just change it so I can show you what I mean really quick, so you can see the reason being, right? If I press OK, you'll see it's right here now. If I want to turn it off, turn it on. But if I want to change it, say I hate how this looks, all that great stuff, you know what I mean? Like if you gotta change something, if you need, obviously changes happen. Without going all the way back, you can just go back in here and change that one thing you might have thought you needed. So I'm gonna change this back to default. What I'll do is I'll put a clarity up just a little bit. I like to put my vibrance up just a bit as well. Right? See the yellow? That's kind of like what I'm talking about for the vibrance. Take our shadows, because they're blacks that are going in the background here. We're going to make this a little more darker. Take our whites, all the highlights, you know, make this a little more vibrant. Control that. If you guys wanted to mess up with temperature, I would be a little bit careful with it, but I mean, you could probably get some really cool like tones to them. But once you've done this, you simply press OK, and there's your pretty much your finalized, very simple, clean, just nice darkish toned Fortnite banner, right? So I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video here today. I think it was pretty badass. I think I explained it as well as possible. I feel like me live streaming is actually making me not comfortable, more comfortable talking, but more or less like a little bit more accurate, which I enjoy, whatever, right? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video here today. As always, 2 likes on the video, you can see it down below, which happen to be the PSC of this video here today. So if you guys want it, of course, just leave a like, just tell your friends if you guys want to as well. And also follow me on Twitch. That's also SetsoHQ. If you guys want to also go ahead and comment anything you want me to do in the, in the comments down below, just kind of any tutorial you might have seen, be like, hey, what if we do one of these, or maybe I can do it for you or whatnot, right? So anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. Much love to you guys on the support of the videos. We've been doing, this is probably our best month we've ever done in our YouTube career, which is a pretty big saying. Viewership wise, subscriber wise, on our solo alone, without getting like crazy shots from here or there or whatever, from our like career. So I just appreciate the fact that we're just growing very, very well. And just thank you very much. Much love every last one of you guys. So yeah, with that being said, you don't have to keep smiling, stay positive, and just stay freaking productive, guys. Later. Much love. Kisses.